In general, you can break down this mindset better than I can, but it seems to me that it's an extremely dangerous proposition for one of these candidates, Buttigieg, Bernie, Biden, or Warren, to want to be in the Oval Office when their deciding factor about the national security of our country is what terrorists think of our actions.
Yeah, Biden's been wrong on every foreign policy decision, and during his entire career. Warren has no experience, even though, Mayor Pete was a soldier, that doesn't make him someone who understands the geopolitical situation. And Sanders is, a communist. So when you throw all that together, what you have is four people that are really running to the left. They have to adhere, they have to win their party base, and then the belief will be that, it's a long highway to November, and whoever wins can then come back toward the center and try to recapture those people. But it's a very, very dangerous precedent. And you have, people like Murphy from Connecticut and others tweeting about, the same thing. Soleimani was bad, but, we shouldn't have done this. We have no strategy. I don't know what they're smoking, but we have a very clear strategy. The president has been very clear of maximum pressure. He's been leveraging the elements of national power, diplomatic, information, military, economic, to squeeze Iran and reverse this terrible policy that we had under Obama of appeasing so that they could come in and think about it, Liz. The Arabs and Persians have historically hated each other. And now Persia, Soleimani was all the way up to the Syrian border and in Syria and the Jordanian border. And, the vacuum that Obama created in Iraq created the conditions for, and yes, the Bush's invasion of Iraq, and we've talked about this, began and lit that fuse. But Obama created the conditions for Soleimani and Iran to come in and set up shop and begin to control through a Shia government. And, let's remember that Iran is Shia, Muslim. And so now what you've got here is Iranian influence, not only, in Iraq, but pressing up against Israel and pressing down onto Saudi Arabia. And Soleimani was the chief architect of all of that, and he also had his hand in the Benghazi attack. So this guy exported terrorism everywhere, and so for these politicians to be saying that, we don't have a strategy, it's insane. Taking out, killing Soleimani is key to defeating Iranian hegemonic drive in the region, and President Trump is, there's some Velcro ripping here as we try to turn this thing around from the disaster that Obama created. And as we're trying to get all the cockroaches out of the kitchen, so to speak, it's going to be a little bit ugly. As you and I talked earlier, that this whole idea that there's going to be reprisals, as opposed to what? They were already planning attacks. They had already done attacks. They planned to blow up a restaurant 2 miles from the nation's capital, right, back under Obama, and he did nothing about it. And it was also that he could have his deal, which didn't address two of the three major components of Iranian military strength.
Right. Well, and today, President Trump used the word imminent threat, that he was part of an imminent threat, an imminent plot to harm U.S. military service members, right, and diplomats abroad. And I think, too, the precedent that was set by the Obama administration emboldened the Iranians, emboldened Soleimani to think that they, sure, could do these different things, commit these acts of war against the United States, killing the U.S. contractor weeks ago, attacking the sovereign U.S. embassy in Baghdad without any consequences, because they didn't suffer any consequences, right, under the Obama administration. And President Trump is certainly putting them in their place.